The Bussin' Bowl. Michigan goes to Lincoln, Nebraska. What a game this is going to be, man. This is a true breakthrough point for Nebraska right here. Can they do it? Only time will tell. Let's talk about a little bit of them on offense. Dylan Raiola. This has to be the game. He solidifies why he was a five-star and the number two quarterback in the class. This has to be the game. The receiving core has put up pretty good numbers, but they haven't played as well as I was hoping. I'm not worried about it at all. Because when you listen to these names, anybody who's deep into college football, who's a college football sicko, knows these names. Ja'Cory Barney, Dane Key, Naziah Hunter. I mean, that's a stacked receiving core. And Raiola's really been piecing it out to these guys evenly. I like to see that. I want to see Dane Key be the number one guy, though, because I think he's got number one receiver potential. And this is one of those games where it's time to show it because that Michigan defense is pretty freaking good. But Nebraska can also run the ball. Emmett Johnson has over 300 yards already. Dude is really good. And you know why? Because he's sitting behind one of the best run blocking defense or O lines in college football. Now, that same O line needs to work on their pass blocking, especially against a team that's really good on defense. Now, Michigan it hasn't been amazing off the edge pass rushing, but Michigan's Michigan. That's a defensive football team. It's bred into the life and the blood of that program. Let's go into a little bit flipping the sides of the ball for both teams. Michigan on offense, Bryce Underwood. What will he be in this game? That's a freshman going to a very hostile environment. He did it once, though. And honestly, you look at the numbers in that game, don't look great, but I think he played pretty well, to be honest with you. I think Oklahoma threw some stuff after him that he handled well. That Michigan O line let him down. They suck. And I think they're not very good in general, to be honest. I I said before the season it's something that I'm worried about, and then they go and get two injuries on the offensive line. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about Michigan's offensive line against Nebraska. Good thing for Michigan's offensive line is Nebraska hasn't had much of a pass rush. That's really gotta take Nebraska has to take advantage of this shot to go get Michigan, and part of it involves the pass rushing stepping up. But they are good against the run. So Justice Haynes has been elite this year. Yeah, he's been elite. I don't know if I expect him to just go out there and run 800 yards against Nebraska this week because Nebraska's run stopping defense is good. This secondary is elite. This is the number one rated secondary as far as points, or excuse me, as far as opponent passing yards per game. And I mentioned them before the season. It's a very mixed bag group, but very talented group, and it showed that they are really freaking good. Bryce Underwood's going to have some stuff thrown at him, like he did last week, that he's not necessarily going to be prepared for. Not because Michigan's staff can't prepare him, just because good defensive coordinators, which Nebraska has, are going to throw something at you that you haven't seen on tape yet. And as a freshman, it's harder to pick up on that than it is as a redshirt junior or so. So let's get into the spread a little bit here. Michigan is favored by 1.5 points. Michigan's money line is 115, Nebraska's is 104. That should show you how close this game is. Nebraska's not even in the plus for the money line. The over-under is 47.5. Who do I got winning this game? Well, if you asked me yesterday, probably would have been a different answer. Taylor Lewan, that man fired me up, really wanting me to pick Michigan, but he called me personally. You know, Taylor Lewan, it's the dog, that's the homie. He called me personally, said, Jonathan, this is why Michigan's going to win this football game. He really riled me up. That is a big game program that really steps up when the time is big. But I think this is the year that Nebraska gets him. I think Dylan Raiola really steps onto the national stage in this game. and I think he plays enough complementary football to Emmett Johnson to win this football game. I think Michigan's able to run the ball pretty well, but I think Nebraska's defense is able to keep the run game at bay. And I don't, I think Michigan, I could start at Michigan at receiver right now. Obviously, that's not true. Don't take that the wrong way. But I'm saying their receiving core is not very good, and Bryce Underwood doesn't have the weapons. And going in and playing against the number one pass defense in college football to one of the most hungry teams in college football, it's not good logistically. So give me Michigan to win a very close, or excuse me, give me Nebraska to win a very close football game.